México doing, la verdad? Seems like everybody's excited. Let's just go talk to people. That's what we should do. Well, I'll tell you guys one thing. This crowd definitely has a lot of energy, and I appreciate that, guys. Give yourselves all a round of applause for that. Big round of applause. Awesome. Good stuff. So I'll tell you, of course, I want to make sure we keep it pretty short. I want to get to the point. I want to give you guys some valuable information. I'll tell you guys briefly about myself. For those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Michael Callejas. I am 20. I just turned 29 years old. Okay, so I'm 29 now. Starting to feel a little more aches in the back. Proposa's helping out. But prior to getting started in USANA, just your average person. Went to school in San Diego. After that, I started working for corporate America. Worked about 73 hours a week, like my twin just mentioned, right? But it was a really tough experience. I was never a lazy person. I was always willing to work hard, but never felt like I was making much progress. And USANA had been presented to me. Never really thought that it was a good idea. Didn't really think supplements were something for me. Couldn't see myself doing this type of work. But I think that timing is more important than talent. And the person that introduced me into this business was very persistent on me and told me, you gotta come and take a look at this. And I kind of shoved it off to the side. But to make a long story very short, what happened was I had a very deep conversation with my girlfriend. And I promised her a lot of things when we first started dating. I said, I'm gonna take you to Paris, I'm gonna take you to New York, and I'm gonna take you to London just for starters. I'm gonna take you all over the place. And then she goes, she bought it, the whole thing, okay? So she decided to start dating me. And after a couple of years, nothing, all right? And she would say, you never took me anywhere. I was like, I took you to Vegas, it was all there. Paris, New York, the whole thing is there. And I just got tired of making excuses, and she actually had a serious conversation, like I said, on a serious note. She said, I think we're gonna have to break up. And I'm like, are you serious? When you're ugly, you get scared. Because I started thinking like, man, I'll be alone forever. And she's like, no, it's because, thank you. But I said, no, what's going on? She goes, it's just that I never see you, and I don't know if our lives are always gonna be this way. I need to make sure that we're gonna be able to spend time together. And I thought, I gotta make some changes. I gotta do something else. So I started looking for opportunity, and I got started in USANA Health Sciences, and it's been a great experience ever since. I feel very blessed, privileged to be part of it. But as you're building the business, there's obviously challenges. And for me, I started trying to make this thing happen, but when you're not doing well financially, it's hard to tell people that we're all gonna be successful. Does that make sense to you guys? Like you're like, hey, we're gonna make this thing happen, we're gonna be making all this money, and we're gonna go crazy. But then I come home to the ghetto where I live, and I look around and I'm just like, And I start working with associates. I sign up good people like Mr. Dinh, right? And I'm all like, hey, we're gonna make this thing happen, and there were some trainings and whatnot that we had to, kind of attend here in back in Los Angeles, and I was actually embarrassed to bring him over to my house because I couldn't put him in the hotel. I didn't know where to take. I was like, I'm gonna have to keep him in my home with me.
Yeah, but the thing about this that Michael doesn't know is that I knew Michael wasn't wealthy. I knew you weren't wealthy, but I did know something. I knew that he was very determined. I understand that your history does not have to become your future, and I knew you were going somewhere, and because of that, I stuck with you.
That's right. That's right. And amazing. It's true. And I can remember telling Aaron Dinh, like, hey, I got a small house, and I got this couch right here. That's all I can give. And
I remember.
Right. My dog slept on the floor. He slept on the couch. That's all I had. And some people say, if I had more, I'd give more. Have you guys ever heard that? Like, if I had more, I'd give more. But I just gave him all I had. Does that make sense? That's the best that I could do, and sometimes you got to start somewhere, and that was the best I could do at that point. So that's a little bit about, as far as how I got started in the business in the very beginning. There have been a lot of challenges, of course, throughout the years, and this business is not easy, but it has completely transformed my life. And it's not just about changing my life, of course, but also changing the lives of other people. And I just want Aaron to share a little bit about himself and how he got involved in this business and how it's changed his life a little bit.
Well, my story, I mean, not so much, not so much different than Michael. I grew up in very, very modest means. I know people that look at us now, they must think that we came from rich background, rich parents and stuff like that. And it was definitely not that way. We came from very, very modest means. I grew up in a small town in Milpitas, California. The average income there was middle class and above, and our family, however, was not. We lived in a 2-bedroom apartment, mom, dad, one room, brother, sister, and me in the other. I was the youngest, my sister was the oldest. So very early on I understood one thing: there was no such thing as equal rights. My sister got everything, and for me and my brother, we shared a little bunk bed, and everything I owned, I had on my bed. You know, so my parents, I guess one of the only memories of my parents is of them not being there. Yeah, they worked a lot. And we grew up very, very independently. Because they worked so much. Because of that, we never asked for anything. So I did well in school because I had to. My parents were very unique with their discipline aspect. They didn't use the belt like everybody else. They used the bamboo. So you had to do well. Sometimes it's really, really hard because one of the philosophies that my parents were able to give me was you had to give it everything that you got and put everything into it. So that's why I did well in school. But because I didn't have a direction, it really kind of didn't matter, right? I don't know if anyone here has ever kind of felt lost before. And it didn't matter how hard you work. The harder you work, all you're doing is just kind of going in circles. And because of that, I started working when I was very, very young. At 15 and a half, I started working, did fast food. I didn't want to just pick any fast food. I wanted the best fast food company, Burger King, right? The king of fast food, right? And then from there, you don't get too many girls being a fry cook, so I upgraded. Started working in retail, started working in everything. My history, my job history is probably as thick as the PDR. I've had well over 30 different jobs in my lifetime. I've tried it all. I've tried everything. Maybe not the carpenter thing, but close to that. And I guess I pulled a Chris Gardner. I worked hard, but it was always on someone else's dreams rather than my own dreams. And it kind of didn't pay off until, of course, one day when I finally met Michael, which is very, very unique. How many people here were invited to a presentation and I saw this business? And I hope you guys can thank your friend for inviting you because they saw more in you to invite you to something like that. Yeah. As for myself, nobody saw more in me. Nobody invited me. Not a complete stranger, fast-talking Latino gentleman right here. And when he first brought me to the presentation, I was always a positive person. I'm sure you guys can tell. I'm always walking around positive and stuff like that. Yes, I'm positive. But when I met Michael, this guy was off the chart, right? He was like, whoa, right? All this other crazy stuff. And because of that, do you guys know what I'm talking about? Because I'm so positive, it pushes you the negative way. Alright? Why are you so happy? Don't touch me. There's all these little things, and I started analyzing everything, all around all the people, why are you so positive and all this stuff. And what changed it for me was at the very end, and I thank God for this, is that I stopped analyzing everything around me, and I started analyzing myself and where I was going. And that was nowhere. And then, because of that, we got started the business, and we started building the business, and we've had success here and there, but never really massive success, because we were always kind of working on our own success. So from that point on, I started to kind of figure out that it was easier to help someone else build their success rather than to build our own success. And that's when our journey began, changing lives and building dreams.
That's right.
Mike?
Definitely. And it's not just building people's financial success. I mean, of course, USANA has the greatest products in the world. And it's, of course, building it through the health aspect. And for me, this business has changed my life, definitely, physically, of course, health-wise. my family's health. And I just think to myself, like, at 29 years old, like, I'll never know what it's like. I'm gonna miss this part of my life. I'm never gonna know what it's like to work for 40 years and receive a Social Security check at the very end of it.
Good for you.
Like, I'll never know what that's like. I'm never gonna have to work for somebody else. I'll always be my own boss. I'll always have unlimited dreams. And it's not just living the dream, it's working at that dream all the time. So I just want to share with you guys a little bit right now on some of some of the health transformations that we've experienced, okay? And I know that how many of you guys have a negative brother or sister? Anybody here? Like a family member who's just one of those that, you know, you're like, I'm doing well, how much? Make 1,000 a week, how long? It's like, whoa, what's going on? You know, like, my older brother, okay, I love my older brother to death, but he is one of the most negative people I have ever met in my life. And he's one of the reasons why I've been so focused in this business. And he's never gotten involved in USANA, never became a distributor in this company. But one thing I can say though is that the business might not be for everybody, but the products that Dr. Wentz created should be for everybody.
That's right.
Right.
And I never gave up on him. I never gave up on my older brother. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys a little before and after picture. Okay, and there's some before and after pictures for some other associates that we have that have transformed. But I'm going to show you this picture of my older brother. You guys ready for this? That's my older brother on the left and right, the same person. Okay? We took him from eating a piece of bread and a Tecate beer. I'm like, drinking Nutrimilk and eating USANA bars. Is that amazing or what? It took me 5 years to convince him to do the reset. 5 years. So for people who say, I've been talking to him for 5 years, that's all I say. To get them to do the reset.
All you gotta say is persistence without resistance, right?
That's true. Definitely true. And Aaron tells us a lot of cool stories about other associates. I'm going to share with them. He was telling me the story about this gentleman. Some of you guys might know him. Uncle Wes, right? Uncle Wes. Serious health issues. Not going to get into all the details. But you have to start taking your life very serious at one point or another, and I'm just glad that Uncle Wes did, and I really hope that he lives a long, healthy life because of USANA. Okay? Some of you guys might know this guy right here. This is crazy, right? I'll tell you this. Your health is the most valuable thing that you own. For sure. You have $1 million, but it's not going to help you on your deathbed on that day. So I'm very happy that for a lot of the youngsters out there, and just for everybody in general, that you start becoming more conscious of your health at a very young age, or just at any point, start being conscious of your health. But Mr. Dinh, if you guys know, he has a lot of associates. You guys see these kids screaming all the time, right? You hear these guys? The thing with that is that you can not only just see the transformation in people's health, but you can also see their transformation when they go through a business transformation, which is kind of weird, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and click next, and Mr. Dinh to talk about some of these people really quick.
For myself, it's exciting to not only see the transformation from how they got started in the business to where they are now, and it's exciting to just kind of see where they're going to be. Keep going, Mike. Because there's a lot of these people, and I know that a lot of times when they see someone young, they kind of underestimate the younger generation, the X and Y generation. And that's some of the best things, because when you underestimate it, you really don't have an opponent. Good stuff. Look at that.
Hold on. Stop right there. I want to talk about this, okay? Because I know a lot of us come, and some of the diamond directors here, I admire a lot of the diamonds. If you guys get to meet some of them, they're still willing to learn and expand. And I think that all of us need to take that posture. I feel like you're always going to be able to get better. And I want to talk about Nancy on really quick, okay? I want to talk about her really quick. Hold on. I want to talk about Nancy on. When Aaron Dinh had sponsored, they brought Nancy onto this business and started working with her. It was a crazy thing, because I remember Aaron was like, this is a girl, she's going to do this. And I'm like, are you sure, man? I mean, she seems like a nice girl, but she's too shy. I don't know. I mean, he goes, no, she has what it takes. She's loyal, she's appreciative, she's coachable, she doesn't have that ego, she's going to be the one. I'm like, are you sure about this? I don't know, man. I mean, is she bringing a lot of people or what? And I'll be honest with you guys, and I want to apologize to Nancy on. I doubted that she would, I knew she was going to be successful. but not at that level. She is one of the studs of USANA Health Sciences. So let's give her all a applause for that. So I think it's crazy, and I know that, of course, lives have been changed and people are making these transformations, and we want to see more of these stories. We love hearing these stories. But I kind of want to talk about Mr. Dinh's story a little bit too, because he's very humble and he doesn't want to share. He's made some big transformations. How many of you guys want to see where Mr. Dinh used to live? You guys want to see that? I'll tell you, I got it. People don't know this. I got some photos and I told
What'd you do, man? What'd you do?
I got some pictures. Let's see these pictures. Hopefully they queued them up here. This is what Mr. did. When I first met him, he was living in this apartment. Okay? Very tiny apartment. I remember out in Milpitas. And he drove this Acura. I don't have a picture of this car, okay? He drove this Acura Integra, a 1992 or 93, I don't know exactly, not sure which kind. But as he drove, so much smoke was coming out of the back. I remember thinking like, is that thing past a smog check or what? Like, so much smoke coming out of the back. It was a Rolls Canardi edition. I don't know if you guys know which kind. It rolls down one hill, can hardly make it up the next. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
But that's where he used to live. You guys want to see where he lives now? Check that out. This house is crazy because when we first got started in USANA working at it, he took me up to the top of the hill and he goes, do you think USANA can get me that? And what am I supposed to say? I don't know. No, I was like, of course. I was like, of course. We got it.
And then I saw him walking away.
I was like, yeah, we got this. Come on. And I remember he goes, okay. He goes, I just want to let you know. It's his first day he signed up in USANA. Very first day. He goes, I just want to let you know that I already quit my job. I was like, whoa! I was like, Jim Rohn said part-time! Part-time! He goes, it's too late, I already sent him my letter of resignation.
You gotta get uncomfortable. The word comfortable is the most deadliest thing you can have. I always try to stay in the gray area.
I'll tell you this, when somebody puts that kind of pressure on you, I felt the need to perform and to make it happen. And I know that this is a nice picture, but I know he likes the view of his
Best thing about it. You got that?
Wow. That's the view from his new home. And he actually moved into that home that we looked at when we went up on that hill. And I feel very blessed and privileged to be a part of that. You know what I mean?
I think, of course, you know, once again, seeing all of this is amazing, but you guys have to also understand that this was all created only through the fortune, of course, you know, thank you to Dr. Myron Wentz and Dave Wentz and everyone else, all the $1 million club. Thank you to all the team and all of USANA, because without all of this, we wouldn't have all of that. So I think in closing, I want to just kind of make a pledge that we are USANA for life.
That's right.